Welcome to Bitches in Season, a podcast for everyone who loves dogs,
all things agility, and some spicy tea. I'm Lizzie.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Lindsay.
Bitches in Season.
What's up, bitches?
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Bitches in Season. We're so excited for today. We're going to have another fun surprise for you. But first, we just want to talk about what's new in our lives, what's up in the world. So, Lizzie, you have some really fun, amazing, exciting things that are making you cry happy tears. Tell us about them.
Yes. So, Obi's back. Obi is back.
He's back.
Obi's back.
OG is back.
Obi's back.
Back again.
Tell a friend.
So Obi has been out for 8 months due to a tricep and then a right foot injury. And finally, after a long Obi,
just for the listeners, Obi just jumped up and came up to the microphone. He knew. He wanted to say his piece.
Yeah. He long 8 months of rehab, shockwave, every single thing possible, acupuncture. We've done everything. He's finally back, and we had our first big trial this past weekend. We went up to the New England USDAA regional, and Obi made 2 finals runs, and he would have been on a podium if his mom wasn't a fucking stupid dumb bitch, but
Shit handlers unite.
Yeah. But no, he looked amazing. I had him checked out while we were up there because it was 2 long days of agility, and he looked great. He was so happy.
He was running great, too.
He was running
so
happy.
good.
And I think the best thing is that Lizzie and I take a class together, and it's just amazing to me how much he picked everything right back up. It was no time at all passed. And he was just ready to roll immediately. In class, he's not forgotten anything except, I guess, the A-frame stuff.
Yeah,
but you were mid retraining anyway.
He also did miss a lot of weave entrances, but a lot of dogs were missing weave entrances, and we kind of maybe talked to some people and chalked it up. The lines on the ground were white next to the weave
a
poles.
sports arena?
Yeah, it was a sports arena, a huge soccer indoor sport arena. And there were lines on the ground for the sports, obviously. And the weave poles were right next to that. And there were a lot of dogs that were popping at the 10th pole.
That's
or
so
missing
weird.
the entrance. And at first I was oh, it's just Obi. He hasn't done a lot of stuff. And then other dogs were doing it. And they're no, we think it's the line. So
but I just want to commend you for how you brought him back. You really did your work. Someone who maybe is looking from the outside in might be oh my God, he was out and now all of a sudden he's at this regional event. He's doing too many runs. As someone who knows the work you put in, you took him to class and I watched you multiple weeks do 2 jumps.
Yeah.
And then just tunnel and then just this. You really built him back stronger. I felt him the other day. He's so muscular.
Yeah.
He feels like he's in great shape.
Yeah.
So
Well, we've done a lot of conditioning. I have all of the fitness equipment one person could possibly buy. And we've done, for the last 8 months, all we could do really is conditioning and stuff.
So, I don't know. Rachel, you have another side of the coin. What's going on with you and Chess?
Aww. I'm going to cry. Yeah, so she actually needs surgery.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
Not a surgery because she is lame right now. She's actually pretty sound, but it is a surgery that we opted to move forward with because it will help prevent injuries in her future.
Well, an injury that keeps popping up for her.
So we rehabbed this injury back in March, right before the UKI Invitational in Chicago, and we got her back on track. We got, the all clear from our sports med vet, from our rehab practitioner, and they're she's good to go. I did the canine rehab. I did all of the stuff to make sure she was going to be in her best shape possible, and she ran really well, and we were injury-free for a while, but then it popped back up, and this is the 3rd reoccurrence of this injury. And we had this initial conversation with our sports med vet that this surgery was a possibility in the future if we did start to see a reoccurrence. And at my last appointment where this injury popped back up, and it was after something so simple, she was going into water.
Right.
And she was just swimming, and she came up so lame. And I brought her to rehab. And, her sports med vet comes in to feel her, and they're yeah, it's back. And I just lost it. And I was like, no,
that's so emotional.
Sobbing. And I'm like, we got to do it. We're doing the surgery because I can't keep dealing with this. And poor baby Chess, like she's just living her dog life and getting injured.
Yeah, like both times it was not doing agility.
No.
It was like the first time was barn hunt, slipping on some of the straw.
hay bale,
And then this time was going in the water. Like, you can't stop a dog from being a dog. And like when Chessie does things, she does it 150%. Like you can't stop her from doing that or just put her in bubble wrap. So I feel for you. But I'm looking on the bright side because when the surgery is done, ideally it's going to have a great success rate. Your sports med vet told you that.
Yeah.
And like
she wouldn't have recommended this if she's done this on other dogs with the same injury and said they haven't had one reoccurrence.
And now it's like, all right, let's take a step back, do the surgery, take the time off, rehab her from after the surgery, and like she'll be back stronger than ever, and this hopefully won't keep cropping up for you.
Yeah, so it's like happy and sad. Like right now, if you saw her, she looks great. She's fine, but I know this is just going to be a little blip in the moment of time in our agility career.
She's only 4.
Yeah, it's the best decision for her and for us as a team.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well,
what about you? What's new with you?
I mean, not much is new. We're just doing regular trials. Like, we're not doing anything big until we go to Cynosport in October.
Well, we have the Cup coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We do have the Northeast Cup,
Sad.
which was... oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Rachel's
okay.
even wearing her Northeast Cup shirt today. But yeah, that was like the first event Vision and I did really well at back when he was just 2. He turned 2 at the Cup. So it'll be fun to come back to that because I missed it last year. I was at AWC team practice. And then, just getting ready for Cynosport. We've never been. We're all qualified. Lizzie's qualified with Cassian.
And Obi is almost qualified. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it done.
So I think that it's fun to talk about what's going on in our life because it actually completely relates to what our topic is for today. So we're talking about canine rehab, we're talking about conditioning, and we're doing it with a super special guest that I'm excited to introduce to you. This person I always really wanted to bring on the podcast because number one, this was one of the first people we floated the idea of the podcast before it was really even a real idea. And they were like, oh yeah, I would listen to that. And we were like, oh, that's fun. And then we just really didn't think it was going to actually happen. And number 2, I think this person is the number 1 gossip girl that I know. Gossip queen, gossip goddess. Introduce yourself.
What's up, bitches?
Bitches. We got Dr. Tim Corker here with us. And for those of you not from our area, Tim is one of the most popular gossip queens, just kidding, one of the most popular canine rehab professionals in the area. So we're so excited to have him here.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here.
We had so many listeners that actually wanted us to bring on a canine rehab professional. So we're so excited that you could join us and talk all about, the crazy world of agility and canine rehab.
So to start by introducing yourself, and then how did you get down this rabbit hole of doing physical therapy on dogs?
Oh God, that's a convoluted story. But no, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so happy to see that you guys are doing this. I've listened to every episode so far.
Aw, thanks.
I don't classify myself as a bucket bitch, but
First of all, you are a bucket
I
bitch.
absolutely was a bucket bitch before I upgraded.
Upgraded to business partner of the canine rehab.
So my journey, I started out as a regular human PT. So I went to the University of Scranton for undergrad and grad school, got my doctorate. And then I came out and immediately started in outpatient orthopedics. So that's where I spent the first 8 years of my career.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then I kind of got fed up with the medical system.
You were like, humans are trash.
Yeah.
No, so the humans...
Dogs are much better patients.
No. So the humans were never the problem. I loved treating humans. I still do love treating humans. The problem was the medical system. I spent more time advocating for insurance companies to reimburse claims or to get people the visits they needed or literally fighting on the phone with adjusters to get people covered, and I spent less time treating people.
Boring.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Hate it.
It was just frustrating. It's
Fucked up medical system.
Yeah, it's just not what I got into medicine for. So then I tried to change approaches, and I became a partner with one of the largest orthopedic companies in the country. Invested with them, opened my own clinic with them, and
an entrepreneur.
Well, no, it's part of a franchise, part of a huge franchise, which you can see everywhere now. And I thought, since I was an investor, I had, money in the game and all this stuff, I could kind of direct the care that I wanted to give, and I was very sadly mistaken.
Tricked again.
With that, foiled again. So the plan was always, after I met Lauren, my wife, the plan was always at some point to transition into the dog world, just because I could blend my love of orthopedics with my love of dogs.
Can you explain who Lauren is and like what she does? The listeners understand.
Yeah, so my wife is Lauren Blackson, so she's the owner of our company, so I am her bucket bitch for agility as well as life. And I met her actually through a patient of mine that I had rehabbed a few times because he kept breaking himself, and we became friends. I broke up with the girl that I had been dating, and he was like, hey, I have this girl that dated one of my friends back in high school, and I think that you guys would be perfect together.
Wow, what a butterfly effect.
Right? Yeah. So then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll meet anyone. That's fine. I texted her once, and then we talked for maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, I
love at first sight.
Like legit though. Like when I ended up calling her because we were trying to set up a date, and I remember texting my best friend. I was like, dude, I think I just got off the phone with my wife. And and then so, you know, one thing led to another, and then we moved in together, and then a bunch of years later we got engaged, and we got married. And then I transitioned from working on solely humans to going...
Because she's a vet.
Yeah, she's a veterinarian.
Right.
So she went to the University of Florida, became a regular veterinarian, fully licensed, all that stuff. And then I pulled her back here to New Jersey.
Yep.
And she worked for a private practice for like a year and hated it and was like, I'm just going to go do my own thing. And I was like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. Yeah. So she opened up Peak Performance.
But Lauren has been involved in dog sports, like...
Oh yeah, she's been doing agility since she was, I think, 13.
Oh
yeah. She started down at the Academy of Dog Training in Delaware and was doing lessons and offering lessons and competing.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know she was a teacher too.
Yeah, she taught for a long time. Up until like 2 or 3 years ago, I think, is when she stopped.
Yeah, I think I did know that. Yeah.
So did she get into doing veterinary work because she had been so involved with dogs and dog sports?
So yeah, she originally was unsure if she wanted to go to PT school or go to veterinary school, and she had a conversation with some rehab veterinarian who told her to not get into veterinary rehab because there's no money in it. You'll never make a job out of it.
Well, they didn't know agility people.
Yeah, they didn't know us.
Yeah, and because
they didn't know Anobi.
Yeah, because if you know Lauren, she doesn't like being told what to do, and she's like, all right, bet, let's see.
Girl boss.
Yeah. So then she opened up Peak Performance, and I remember her coming to me after I helped her set up the website and get everything ready. It's like 2 hours after launch. She's like, Tim, this isn't going to work. No one's signed up.
Oh my
all this other stuff. I'm like, Lauren, it has been 2 hours.
Calm down.
Yeah. And then, fast forward a number of years, like maybe 3 years or something, and she was booked out like 7 or 8 weeks, could barely keep her head above water and all this stuff. And that was when I was like,
so you weren't even doing it for the first 3 years that she was in business.
No, she was solo. She was just crushing it.
First took Obi to Lauren. You hadn't moved into the business with her.
Yeah, no, she was just doing it on her own, and I was just kind of there as her support and, a financial backer if she needed it, which she never did. Like, she was profitable from day one.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But then, when I switched, I just got tired of the healthcare system, and I was so fortunate. I kind of owe all of this to Lauren. Like, I wouldn't have any of this right now if I didn't have her supporting me. Like, I had an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people in the rehab world, like the human PT world,
they're just stuck.
You're trapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, where can you go from there?
Like, you have a degree that's very specific. It's sort of like, an MD or a DO. Like, you're kind of trapped into the world that you've chosen.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate that I had a very easy transition out of it.
Yeah.
So my license, my human PT license transfers.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'm able to work on dogs under my normal license.
Okay.
I chose to get a specialty certification in canines. I did mine through NC State, and I have a CCAT credential. Lauren's is CCRP, which same thing, different letters because she went to a different program.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's nothing really special about it. It's a program that allows you to treat on to work on dogs. It gives you a little bit of a background on a bunch of different rehab aspects and things like that.
So do you think like a lot of folks in rehab have transitioned from human medicine, or is it mostly people who've transitioned from veterinary medicine?
I would say the large majority of it are veterinarians that do rehab as either their full career or just part of it in tandem with their other practice. But I've noticed that there are a lot more PTs that are switching to the canine field. And I don't know if that's just happenstance or if it's a similar story to mine. Yeah, I mean, ever since I switched, it's been, I think, about 2 years now. I've loved every second of it. I would never go back. I never want to work for anybody else again.
Evident, like in the way that you approach your work, that you really love it.
Well, I mean, I get to combine both things that I love. Like, I still get to work on people here and there, and then I get to combine it with dogs. And it's funny, I actually wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
And then when it came time to choose going to school, thought never even crossed my mind. Didn't even think about it. But then full circle, here we are. Right?
I think the first time I ever approached you was because I was in pain. And then you just like insulted me really badly because you were like, well, we are getting old. And I was like, speak for yourself.
Sir.
We might have to
said it as a team. It was a team sport. I said we.
You did include yourself, but I'm not that old. I'm forever young. And you were like, at your advanced age, you might need to start stretching. And I was like, no, I don't do that. And you were like, well, that's really dumb.
But I said it gently.
No wonder you're in pain all the time.
Yeah, right? Weird.
But so tell us about, I don't know, like, what's canine rehab? What's it like working in performance sports, just high level?
So canine rehab is at the highest level. It is working on dogs that are either recovering from surgery or just are getting older, or in the world that I'm in, they're sporting dogs. So they're like elite level sporting dogs. I would say 90% of the clients that we see are doing agility, fast cat, lure coursing, pick your dog sport.
Right.
So I tend to see a little bit more of the surgical side just because Lauren's schedule is so booked out because she's been doing it for so much longer.
Yeah.
But I've gradually...
She's more popular.
Yeah.
She probably is more popular. I mean, I like her more than me.
But you're the gossip queen, so...
Yeah, which I don't know that that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I love it. Yeah. We love it.
No, I talk to people and somehow I end up being their priest and they confess to me and it's this whole thing that I just sit there and I'm like, yes, tell me more.
No, my favorite analogy is that I feel like Tim is more like your waxing lady. Like if you've ever gotten like a bikini wax and you're there and you're like in your most vulnerable state and you're just like spilling your guts, like she's your therapist, like that's Tim to me in the dog world. Like he's the waxing lady of the dog world.
So I don't know about the waxing part of it, but it does.
You never got a Brazilian?
A couple, 2-3 times. But no, but I think that, so there is something to that, right? So people come, especially when I was in human medicine, people would come to you in pain.
Yeah.
So it's reversed, right? You're coming to us because your dog is in pain. You're terrified because you spent so much time and money and energy and you love them more than any other human in your life.
True.
And you're kind of fixated on that. So what is an easy way to get work done and calm you at the same time?
Distract you.
Word vomit.
To distract you, right? So by kind of delving into your personal life or talking or trying to just hit a talking point, it helps you kind of disassociate from what's going on in front of you.
Yeah, that's why the waxing lady does it. So that you're distracted when she's ripping the hair from the root.
But yeah, so I mean, at the high level of it, canine rehab is just working on dogs to make sure that they're not injuring themselves, they're recovering from an injury, or they're just doing maintenance, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So all of us have seen Tim. I have seen Tim with my dog Vision just for maintenance. Luckily, knock on everything under the sun, but Vision has not been injured, and Tim just sees him just about monthly to make sure that everything feels the same. It's so nice to have you have that, like, history with him because he's always tight in this hip and like you kind of have that understanding of what to expect and that would help you if something was off. But Lizzie, you've seen Tim and Lauren quite a lot.
I've seen Lauren, I've probably sent Lauren many crying voice messages. Obi's been injured more than...
You're not alone.
Times than I can count. And so I think Lauren, the first time was like 3.5 years ago was the first time. Now Obi's monthly, but we go to Hannah now because Obi breaks himself so easily that we just go to the sport med vet and, so.
And Rachel, tell us about your history of seeing Tim and Lauren and doing rehab.
Yeah, so, I mean, I started going to see Tim when Chessie once we started competing, like actually trialing and competing, because Lizzie saw them and she was like, you need to get Chessie in. She's doing things now and she's a corgi, so we know that long back issue. And so we started seeing Lauren before you hadn't joined Lauren yet.
Right.
And then once you started joining, Chelsea loves her men, so we were like, we have to go see Tim. And so that was easy done. Chelsea was fine for Lauren, but she does love her Tim. Like, loves him,
So among our dogs that you've all seen and know and love, who do you think has the most dramatic dog from the pack?
Oh, the most dramatic dog is Obi. Hands down, it's Obi. Like, when he's on the table, he's up, he's down, he's off the table, he's on the table.
Yeah.
We're yelling at him to lay down. He doesn't lay down. He wants to kiss you. He wants to hug you. Yeah, it's chaotic, and I love him to death.
And isn't Cassie better than Obi?
Cassie has become better than Obi.
Yeah.
Which
Would
was
you
not
believe that?
expected,
Yeah.
considering that
Yeah.
Cassie's the baby.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And who's the most dramatic person among the three of us?
That's a trap.
He said next.
That's
next
a
question, please.
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of equally dramatic things. I don't know. That's a hard question.
We're the drama.
That's a hard question because you all care so much about your dogs that I think that you're
Yeah.
equally dramatic when the time calls for it. But I
Yeah,
wouldn't say that any of you are overly dramatic unnecessarily.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I like that.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite dog?
Oh my God. Rachel
I
just...
do love Chessie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vision hates men, so,
Chessie just gets, she's the most excited to see me.
Yeah.
Vision, he just likes to, he's like, I don't want to be touched and I'm going to be so still so that you'll stop touching me.
Right.
When is it over?
He's the easiest to work on.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll take
That makes sense. Yeah.
So let's get into it. What do you think most, like, the average person gets wrong about injury prevention or conditioning? Like, where are we going wrong here as a sport, and where could you educate people maybe a little bit more?
So I think that the thing that most people get wrong when it comes to conditioning and preventing injuries is that they're just not doing anything about it.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, we can all probably think of 5 to 10 people that just don't do any conditioning. They don't do any fitness. They don't do any warm up. They don't do any cool down. They don't do any rehab. And it's, it's not a plug for coming to see us. It doesn't matter who you see, but you should, if you're going to be competing at a high level and expecting these dogs to do the things that you're asking them to do, specifically in the agility world, since that's what you guys do.
Right.
Like, you need to condition them and you need to make sure that their bodies are primed for the movements that they're doing. Like, these dogs are badass. Like, they're out there twisting, jumping, turning, cutting.
True.
Yeah.
And like, you wouldn't expect an Olympic athlete to go out there cold.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think the problem I run against is, like, I teach a lot of people who are brand new to the sport, and they'll just be like, well, I'm not competing like you envision. Like, we're not, like, going to world events, and he's not so fast. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter, because even in, like, youth sports, they put an emphasis on stretching and warming up and cooling down. And, I know I treat myself really badly and don't take care of my body before and after and during sports. But, I really think that it's, like you said, so important to have that routine and have that mindset that, like, maintenance and rehab is part of the deal if you're going to ask your dog to do these things.
Well, I think some of it is also people don't understand what the requirements are. So if you think fitness, you think human fitness typically, like, okay, 30, 45 minutes in the gym 3 or 4 times a week. And it doesn't need to be that. So if you have people, like, a barrier to entry is time commitments, right?
Yeah.
So if you can convince them, okay, you don't need to go see a rehab provider. If you're just getting into the sport, they're just training, you can do something as simple as cookie stretches. You can do something like play bows or rhythmic stabilizations. It'll take you 5 minutes.
Or just even people who take their dog out of the crate cold, run them, put them back in the crate. Like, just walk the dog.
Right.
Let's start there.
It can be as simple as walking the dog out to warm them up and then cooling them down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're already, like, above some people who are just taking their dog out with cold muscles.
Yep.
I mean, then you have people, obviously, who are way on the other end. They have the PEMF pads. They have this whole warm up and cool down routine.
Yes, my wife is one of them.
Yeah. As am I.
I think we all are.
Well, I feel like I'm the least, like...
You are.
Yeah.
Not that
I think
Vision,
like you said,
it's based
Vision's
on
never-
our experiences too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Vision's never gotten hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't take him out
You're going to
cold
put
or
that
anything,
out into the cosmos like that?
I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
put that bad juju on me. So, I don't know. What's your ick? Or, like, what are the things that people do that just you face palm and you're like, OMG?
So you already hit the nail on the head. Like, people taking their dogs out cold.
Yeah.
Right? And just going from the crate right into the ring. It's great for business, but it's horrible.
Oh no.
Yeah, like it's horrible for the dogs.
Yeah.
Like that you at the very least you need to walk your dog out before you run.
Yeah. Like a potty walk at least. Come on, people.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be 30 minutes, like 5 minutes, just do a couple tricks or, just, I don't know, walk with them.
Like a sit to stand to down,
just
like
anything to prime their bodies.
Blood flowing, get their heart rate up. Yeah.
And it's a good way for you to connect with your dog before going out there and running too.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're hectic pulling them out of the crate, because you're running behind or you're nervous, like they're going to feed on that. Or at least I assume they're going to. I don't run my dogs. I can barely run as it is. But like from watching Lauren compete for all these years, like she's really big on making sure that she takes like 5 or 10 minutes, probably more, 15, to go and walk Rem out when she's getting ready to run her. And, she takes that time where it's just her and Rem and they do a couple of stretches, they walk, they talk, they do, all these little things.
I feel like the same people who don't do that connection and physical warm up are the same people who will blame their dog when something goes wrong in the run.
I agree 100%.
And it's like, you just expect them to sit there for like hours and hours on end and then come out ready to rock and roll physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah.
I mean, we have people that, they come up to us after something goes wrong on course and they're like, I don't know what's going on. Like this, they're not performing. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. It's like, I have an idea.
I have a big idea.
I have an idea, but let's take a look.
Yeah.
So what are your spiciest takes on agility culture? Like, where is the culture getting a little toxic or unhealthy for the humans, for the dogs?
So from the human side, I think that there are a lot of handlers that don't take care of themselves because they're so focused on their dogs.
Wow. Oh, shade. The shade.
Oh, no.
Yeah, just got dark in here with all the shade. But, I think that it's more that the humans don't take care of themselves because they're so hyper fixated on their dogs.
It's true.
Okay.
And the dog can be at peak performance. Oh, self-plug. No, the dog can be like in their tip-top shape or whatever, but it doesn't matter if you can't be out there and keep up with them.
Yeah.
Right? Like now, the three of you're very young. See? Young.
So young.
Yeah, so young.
Youthful.
Forever young. No, but you guys are young enough that you can kind of fake your way through it if you need to for the, minute that you're out there.
Yeah, I'm always like, it's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I can run for 30 seconds.
But especially as people do get older, your requirements change.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, from the human side, it's that. From the dog side, I do think there's a lot of pushing through injury.
Okay.
I think that a lot of people are hungry for the titles and all of that stuff. Yeah. And they sometimes look past their dog for the titles.
Yeah.
Not that makes them bad people. Like, I understand that it's, it's a sport and you want to do well.
Yeah. How do you approach that?
I don't really like.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can.
So in my world, as their medical provider, as their doctor, or whatever, you have to create a line of meddling versus giving advice.
Yeah.
So in medicine, you have to try to guide people to the right answers without really overstepping your bounds or creating a problem.
Okay.
Like if the dog is injured or the human is injured and I feel like they're going to cause a huge problem, I will tell them, I'll be like, no, this is a hard stop. But if it's something where I'm just seeing a trend, I'll sort of allude to it, or I'll be like, hey, maybe we should rest them for a little while. Or if there's a big competition coming up, I'll be like, we'll Band-Aid through this, but then we need to rest.
Yeah.
Or else this will become a problem.
Break.
But more times than not, it's just kind of gently leading them towards the answer.
I feel like that would be such a hard line to walk of like when it's gray area or when someone's pushing back a little bit, like how do you navigate that? That would be really tough.
That's you kind of learn that as you go. Like there's really no way to teach that. You kind of figure it out honestly through failure. Like you kind of see it not work one way with a certain person, and then you'll move on to the next person. Like, well, this didn't work before, so I'm going to try that. And then you just kind of learn to kind of banter back and forth until you figure out the right sequence.
Have you had to have conversations about like it's time to retire your dog entirely?
I haven't really. That's another thing where it's like that's not my choice. Right, that's not my call for when someone needs to.
Would you ever like hint at it though? Do you think?
So again, if the dog is really having a problem, I may say that it's time to maybe make some changes or to like slow down a little bit. But I probably will never tell someone to retire their dog, just because it's a very personal decision that they have to make
themselves,
right? Like. You can't fix it until someone realizes that it's broken. So I'm not going to be the reason that someone pulls their dog if they don't feel like they're done. Like I'll be an advocate for them. I'll help them as much as I can. But I will gently try to lead them to the right decision.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are some of your ideal pre and post run routines you wish more sport people did?
So I think
we touched on it.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it. But I mean, the easiest thing is just a simple walkout.
Okay.
Right? Like take your dog out of the crate, go for a short walk, get them warm, get them ready. At the higher level, if you have the time and you have the skill to do it, do a few warm-up exercises.
Yeah.
To do a couple cookie stretches, play bows, step stretches, things to warm up their body as best as you can. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It doesn't need to be anything intricate. Just do something.
How can people find a reputable canine rehab practitioner? And then your thoughts on online conditioning courses.
Yeah, so to find a reputable provider, I would say it starts as simple as going to your primary vet. Like if you're not from this area or you're not in an area where there's well-known providers, talk to your vet, because they will probably know someone or know of someone. But
That's
if you're
so interesting, because I wouldn't think that, because my perception of like the average vet is that when you say I do agility, they don't really understand just how much of a toll that takes on the dog's body, or like what.
So I think that's fair. But if, like, your show, you're trying to reach people outside of the Northeast, right?
True, that's true.
Right?
That's
so, I mean, we're very fortunate in the agility world that in the Northeast, you can walk outside and spin around and you'll hit 4 agility clubs.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Yeah.
Right. There's literally 4 from where we are right now within a 30-minute distance.
So, I mean, you guys have the availability of other people competing that are in the world and they know who's good and who they've been to. But if you're in a more kind of separated world where they don't have as much agility, like you have to start with the pros.
Yeah.
Right. Like their professional, their vet or whoever you want to call it is going to have a better chance at finding them a provider. But then talk to people, talk to the people you compete with, talk to your friends, talk to people that have had an injured dog.
Yeah. True. That's
you
true.
can also, there are online resources too. So you can go to any of like the canine rehab provider websites.
Okay.
And you can do like a zip code. Yeah, you can do like a zip code search and it'll show you providers that are registered in your area.
That's awesome.
And then you can also, like, the biggest part about finding a reputable provider is making sure that they can handle the situations that you're bringing to them. So a bunch of different professions can be rehab providers. So veterinarians, obviously, PTs, some chiropractors, massage therapists, and then there are people that are just doing trigger point classes.
Yeah.
What is trigger point and how is that different than like canine massage or like PT? I actually never knew that.
So I would say, the veterinary and PT side of it encompasses all of the different modalities, right? So you have regular stretching.
Okay.
You have manipulation, like joint manipulations, like where you would see a chiropractor or a PT or, to get the joints moving. Soft tissue massage, which is more of your longer strokes. Think of like going to a massage parlor, right?
Okay.
Where they have like the oils and they kind of work into the muscles. And then trigger point is working on knots in the muscles. So the fibers of a muscle can contract and get stuck. Which we've all felt knots, right? We've all had like a spasm in our upper neck or whatever.
Knot in your back.
Yeah, like a knot in your back. And that ball that you feel, that is your trigger point. So a trigger point release is you would just push your thumb, your finger, whatever you're using, into the muscle, into the belly of the center of that knot, and then you hold it until you start to feel the fibers either twitch or release, and then everything sort of kind of floats back into normal space. Yeah.
So there's people who do trigger point massage who may not have the certifications or education that you have, but that's still okay that they're practicing that because they've...
So it can be.
Oh, okay.
It can be okay.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah.
Come on.
So it can be okay. Obviously, you have your medical providers. Anyone like a DVM, like a veterinarian or a VMD if they went to Penn. PT, so a DPT or MPT, whatever credentials they may have. Chiropractor, DC. And then you have your massage therapist, which... I forget what their credentials are, but there's an actual credential for a massage therapist. Anyone outside of those, you have to, even with some massage therapists, you need to be careful with what you're getting. And it's only because anyone who has a license to touch or they take a course, they can work on dogs, or they may be able to work on dogs depending on the state. But the problem is they may not know how to identify an injury.
Oh, right.
So that's
They'll
where
just be poking around in there, but something else deeper could be wrong.
And it's the subtle things, right? So, like one of our dogs, April, who has since passed, she had an iliopsoas strain that back when Lauren was like 15, and it was incorrectly diagnosed or just simply not diagnosed, and that ended up turning into an avulsion, where the muscle pulls the bone off the other part of the bone.
Wow.
Right? And I mean, hers happened to be a veterinary provider that just, didn't know it or missed it or what have you, but that's, it happens. But the risk of missing something major is more likely with a non-medically trained provider.
Yeah.
Right.
So you
that
at
makes
least need to
sense.
know that the people that you're working with have the understanding to identify an injury. It's not that the treatment is really going to hurt the dog, but it's what are they missing?
Or maybe you're seeing a variety, like maybe trigger points available at the trial, but then you have your regular maintenance appointments with someone else who has a different background.
And I think that's wonderful. I advocate for anyone to go and see someone. Like, I think it's great. Like, we have a couple of massage therapists or trigger point providers in the area that I think are great. Mm-hmm. We have some that I don't think are great. I think as long as you are following that up with someone with a deeper understanding, I will say it can be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think like being well-rounded and getting different hands and eyes on your dog, especially if you think something's up and weird.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Obi, for instance, for the longest time, we couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. So, we went to 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silly Obi.
And that's the other side. You need to know where to send people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if there's something that's lingering in a client of ours, we're going to send them out to get imaging. We're going to send them to someone who maybe has a different approach or something to dig deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're so lucky we have a sports med vet in our area.
Yeah.
So we have so many resources.
You guys, we have Susan. We have multiple people in our area that we can go to. So
what are your thoughts on online conditioning courses for people?
So for humans or for dogs?
For the dogs.
For
Like
the dogs.
human is getting it for their dog.
So I think that can be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that can be awesome, especially if you have a foundation on how to do exercise with your dogs and you're not just starting up from scratch.
Okay.
I think that if you're going to start doing fitness exercises, you should be with someone who can give you pointers.
Yeah.
guidance.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's the hardest
So you
part.
think that like somebody off the street, never done rehab, never done fitness, just gets an online class that can be maybe not the best
It's
because
better
they don't
than doing
really
nothing.
know. Okay,
it's
that's
better
fair.
than doing nothing, but I do think that if you want to be serious about it and get the most bang for your buck, you need someone to show you, okay, their feet aren't in the exact right position.
Yeah.
Like, we want their feet to be here, or we don't want them to move during this movement, but we want them to do that.
I think it's also about understanding the spirit of the exercise. Like, if you're just doing like sit to stand, like super speed or something like that, it's like, no, it's really about like they're engaging their core as they rock back into that sit
and stay in one spot.
Yeah, and I think like even I've done some online courses where I was like, I don't really know if I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how to change it.
And I think that's very important. And I felt the same way with people that do online conditioning for humans. It's like, it's great, you're doing something, you're making an effort, but you need to make sure you're doing it the right way, or else it could
cause more injury.
different
But at least
problems.
you can like feel your own
Yeah.
like body rejecting it, and your dog's just probably like cookie, like I'll do whatever.
You'd be blown away at how many people have no idea what their own body is doing.
Oh,
They just,
Okay, one of my last questions for you. If you had to recommend 2 supplements, which 2 would they be?
This is not a paid advertisement.
No, no, we're not going to use names. So I would recommend a fish oil supplement and a UC2 collagen supplement.
Oh, there
I don't
you
even
go.
know what that is. What?
That's what I use Jope.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Or Flexidin is the other one.
Yeah, no, I think those are great.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
should.
I don't use either of those.
So, you know what fish oil is, yeah?
I do. Okay, yes, I'm familiar with that.
Fish oil we like because there are a lot of studies and clinically proven data that shows a certain amount of EPA and DHA that are bioavailable that we can actually access for the dog. And we have, based on their weight, we can give them the appropriate amount.
He sounds so smart.
I know.
Oh, God, less smarter
Every
than
All
once
these
in a while.
acronyms.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I know what I'm talking about. And then a UC2 supplement is a collagen supplement, so that just helps to strengthen the joint and the ligaments and stuff.
I feel like that's what like the influencer girlies are like, taking collagen to like
they're
help
doing
their
it for
skin.
different reasons. They're helping their hair and their skin.
Does it help?
I guess so. I don't know.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
You're not in the beauty TikTok?
I'm not beautiful enough.
So wait, I have a follow-up question though, because I'm just like nerding out a little bit. Would you give Dasaquin, which is a completely different joint supplement, in addition to the Jope or the UC?
So I would say that you can.
Okay.
There is some data coming out recently where we're finding that the chondroitin compounds are not doing exactly what we think that they're doing.
Okay.
Right, and that's not throwing any shade at any particular supplement. It's the same thing when I moved into the dog world. I was surprised at how much glucosamine was pushed, because in humans it's been kind of, not debunked isn't the right word, but it's less effective than it was supposed to be.
Interesting.
The interesting part with a lot of your glucosamine supplements, especially if you're using like the veterinary strength brands,
Yes, right.
there's so many ingredients in there. So you do see case studies where a dog will improve and they'll move better, but what's doing it?
Right.
Right? Because you have the Boswellia, you have the other things that are in there, MSM, eggshell membrane, all those different products. And sure, they may be helping, but we don't really know.
Okay.
Whereas with your fish oil and your UC2 supplements, they're just a little bit more backed. But in addition to those two, I know I only said two, I'm a huge fan of Adequan.
Oh, yeah.
So the Adequan injections are one of, I think, the only FDA approved, I think they term it a nutraceutical. They're not quite a supplement, but they're not quite a drug. So they're somewhere in the middle.
And is this for like maintenance or like injury prevention?
So that is a great question. I think with a lot of these products, if you are using them and you're noticing a drastic change, you've kind of waited too long, right? So in the sporting world, we're looking at maintenance and prevention.
Yeah.
So if you're noticing a huge change, it means you probably started a little bit too late. So a great use of these products is that you shouldn't notice a change because you should be starting these dogs young.
That's a mindfuck, because this is my problem with supplements is that, like, of course I give Vision like all the ones that everybody gives everyone or you get for free or whatever, but like he's a healthy 3-year-old male dog who's muscular and like never had an injury. So I don't, like, what would you say to someone who maybe was more skeptical than me? Like, is this necessary, or like should he really be taking things? Or I don't know, like I never seen a difference, but he's also always, like, almost always been on them, not when he was very young, but
yeah. So, I mean, I think if you want to compete at the highest level and you're demanding these tasks from your dog that are hard on their body, you want to give them the best chance to succeed. Are they effective for your dog specifically? Maybe, maybe not.
how would I know?
You don't know.
You don't?
Right?
Yeah.
So you really won't know.
So
It's
I
like,
just pay $80 a bucket for all this random shit.
but we all do, right? Like,
It's true.
So we start our guys at home. We have 3 border collies. We have Riker, he's our older guy. We have Rem, who's running, and then we have Saber, our little red dog.
Little baby
Red
girl.
dog. So we start all of them on the supplements around 1 year old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do it just as maintenance. Like, we start them all on Dasequin, we start them all on UC2, we start them all on Adequan injections, and we just continuously do them just because why not? There's few side effects to it, or almost no side effects to most of them. Your dog may be different, but it's just an easy way to give them the best chance to not be injured. Yeah.
Fascinating.
I love that. I mean, I'm all for supplements. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they just add up, though, and it's like, is this making a difference, or is this like some snake oil salesman?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything you said is, and I know that you really deeply care about the research, which is like, that matters to me. Like, I don't know anything about it. What you were saying makes very little sense to me, but I trust you as a professional, and even if you don't understand it, like myself, you should at least have someone in your life who
Let's take a minute, because if it doesn't make sense to you, it's probably not making sense to someone else. So let's dig into that. What doesn't make sense?
I guess I just don't really understand the science of it, and what you're saying to me sounds like a foreign language, and I'm like, that's great. Like, you go in on all those acronyms that you're using and the FDA and like blah blah blah, but like at the end of the day, I don't know if I have to deeply understand the science behind it as much as I need to find a professional who I trust to that's your job. You go through the science, you look at the studies, and then tell me what to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Yes, the supplements are very expensive, or they can be very expensive.
Yeah.
The sport of agility is enormously expensive.
Yeah.
That's true.
You spend thousands of dollars training your dogs, buying a dog, going to all the different events, sporting, all that kind of stuff. So when you break it down, if you look at the low-hanging fruit, like if you're spending, let's say, $10,000 a year on training and traveling and all that stuff, $80 a month on a supplement to help your dog,
It's true.
or maybe help your dog, is not the worst thing in the world.
But do you think people get skeptical of like, oh, Tim and Lauren are selling this, so of course they want to like push it on us?
Yeah, so I do think people get skeptical, and my biggest thing is when I'm recommending products, I always tell people, like, I will not recommend a product to you that I don't use on our dogs, or that I would not use on our dogs.
Yeah, that's
right. Like,
that's a good barometer.
Well, and I tell people also, it's like, I don't care if you buy the product that we're selling. Like, if you can get it, cheaper and it's the same product, I don't care. I just want you to use something.
That's why I love that Lauren's a competitor, because I feel like it gives you and your whole practice like a different lens into making recommendations to people, because, we have, of course, rehab vets in our area and rehab professionals who don't compete, and that doesn't make their opinions less, but it just makes like you have this like hands-on experience. Like, Remedy is running, she's going to these big events, and here's exactly what supplements she's on or what routines we have. Like, I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I've never questioned any supplement you've ever told me to get open. Yeah, I've got it. I'm like, okay, go done. Yeah, got it.
Good for business.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, no, but at the same time, like, I want to make sure that people understand, like, just because we recommend, let's let's say product A. If you look into it and you like product B,
I've done that.
Sure, go for it.
Because I like the ingredients better for another product, but it's the same UC too.
Yeah.
But it's just the ingredients are a little bit cleaner for me.
Sure.
And
Rachel, I didn't know you were such a nerd about this.
Oh, I love it. I do a lot of research myself. Like, there's a reason I feed my dog raw food, which is a whole nother topic. But I care a lot about what's going into my dog's bodies. Mine, not so much, but Chessie, absolutely.
No, and I think that's awesome.
I dive a little bit deeper with those supplements as well, because why am I feeding her this completely high protein, like, clean food if I'm gonna, like, just do the opposite with supplements?
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. Like, it does not matter to me, and I know it doesn't matter to Lauren if you're using the products that we recommend, as long as you're using something similar to the recommended dosages that we're telling you.
Yeah, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
So let's transition into you interrogating us, because we have already held your feet to the fire. What do you want to ask us?
Yeah, ask us anything.
What do you guys think of all the drama in the agility world?
I love it. I do love talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we even got this podcast started, right? Because all we do is, like, we hang out and we chat about what's going on Facebook or what we heard at this trial or, like, who's doing this and who's doing that. We love to yap about it.
Oh, this, like, sending screenshots when some Facebook post is blowing up, or just, like...
I don't like to be involved in it. Like, I don't want people to be talking about me, but I am here to talk about the agility team.
People talk about you because people talk in agility, and that's just what they do.
Yeah.
I think, like, I love it. I love drama. I, like, watch Bravo and reality TV. But I think what is always so comical to me is just taking that step back and being like, this is a game we play with our dog. Yeah. It is dogs jumping over plastic. It's not that serious. But at the end of the day, for some people it is. Like, it's their whole life. It's their livelihood, potentially. Yeah. So you can see why people get worked up about things. It's just so unserious. Like, no one's on the operating table and you're getting so stressed out about this.
Yeah. No, I wish we could talk about things a little bit more, but we can't. But
no, I love it. I love it. We would get canceled. Yeah, we
would. Say, like, looking at it from the sort of the outside, right? Like, I'm not a competitor.
Yeah.
I work with all of you guys, and I treat your dogs, and I'm there at the competitions or the trials. Agility is incredibly cliquey.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
It is incredibly cliquey. Watching it from the outside, there's like pods of people, right? That like you don't intermingle a lot of the times, and there's like interpersonal drama between all of it, and it's wild to see from the outside.
It's so interesting because I feel like Lauren explicitly has said to me that she doesn't like align with one clique or another, and like likes to get along with everyone. That's how I try to be.
Yeah.
But some of the cliques you can see, they're just like, it's hard to infiltrate. Like, they're very like closed off, and there's this sentiment of like, well, we've been doing this for like this long, or we trained together, or just like that, those allegiances that exist. It's very interesting.
Well, I brought this up to Lauren about the clickiness, and she's like, well, it is a very female driven sport. And I was like, that's a wild take. I kind of like it, but
it's true. Yeah. What's it like being like a man in this like female dominated sport?
Yeah, because even a lot of the canine rehab practitioners that are not you and Lauren are female as well.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me that much.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just because I'm a social butterfly and I can have a conversation with a brick wall.
You're so easy to talk to. That's literally me. I can talk to a literal brick wall.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I like talking to people. I like being involved without actually being involved. Like, I'm part of the drama in some capacity of like, I'm listening for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'm not really involved.
One time Tim and I were at a trial, and we overheard some people starting to maybe have a disagreement, and we both just like at the same time stopped our conversation and like perked our ears up. Like, if we were dogs, our ears would have like turned in 180 degrees to like listen. Because
my favorite times are like when I see you for rehab and it's just like, oh my god, guess what I found out, or guess what, who did this, or like, here's the new tea, or oh my god,
all of it up.
And I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell Tim.
And it's like, no matter what anyone tells me, it's like a sanctum. Like, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
Like,
and that's why I love
like,
to share with you.
Yeah. Client lawyer privilege. Well, it was so fun to have you as a guest. Like, what was it like being on your first podcast? Like, what's your Yelp review?
Honestly, I feel like it was really easy because I know all of you. Like, it's just like being in a rehab session and kind of talking about all the bullshit. Like, it was
just the girlies yapping.
Yeah, it was very simple to sit here and talk, and I loved every second of it. I think it was great.
Thank you for coming. It was so fun to have you.
Yeah, no, this was awesome.
So where can people find you on social media?
So to find us on social media, we're on Facebook. Our company is Peak Performance. I'm Tim Corker, and my partner and wife is Lauren Blackson.
Your boss.
Your boss.
We all know she's my boss. She knows she's my boss. We'll put out when we're going to be at a trial and things like that, and then people can email us to get on the waiting list or to get a spot for the trial.
The schedule might be booked up because I don't know if you know this, but they just welcomed a new baby to their family.
Yes.
Their first two-legged child.
Our first two-legged child.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's
Huge
a wild
congrats.
experience. I love it.
Aww.
Well, thank you again, and that's all we got for today. So that's a wrap on this week's episode of Bitches in Season. Rachel, where can our listeners keep up with us on the internet?
You can find us on Instagram at Bitches in Season or on Facebook, Bitches in Season with a 1.
Ugh, Facebook makes us have a 1.
And you can listen to us on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube Podcast, and Spotify.
Thanks for listening, and catch you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.